In this video, I want to talk about watching the TV shows, the movies, and the podcasts, and kind of starting your own group that does just that. So, I wanted to dive a little deeper into how to get started. Let's start with the TV shows. This is Paranormal 101 with the TV shows. So you have your goal and you're trying to say, hey, I'm either trying to prove ghosts are real, or maybe that there's an afterlife, or maybe I'm just trying to have a good time with my friends. The avenue I want to start with is the TV shows. Now there's three different really categories of TV shows. The first is what I call the mainstream. And with the mainstream, you're gonna find, very colorful characters. It's kind of in the middle, right? Kind of in the middle, where you don't really know if it's real evidence or if it's not real evidence. Are they faking it? But it seems really legit. And I'm not gonna name drop on any shows, but you can kind of go from there. So that's really here in the middle, where they're probably real, but you're always skeptical. And then the second, part of the TV shows, and you could even include scary movies on this, is you already know that it's totally fake, or it's just a bunch of, there's I think it's called Ghost Brothers or something. I don't even watch the TV shows, I'm sorry. I just do the actual investigations, but there's ones where they're just running around scared and it's hilarious, and that's the point of the shows. So you can dabble in the paranormal and not get too into the weeds, where you can just enjoy it. Maybe that was a ghost, and you know what, I'd be screaming and running too. It's relatable. Or maybe even some paranormal movies that really excite you, that is obviously just a movie, but then you start to question it, are Ouija boards that dangerous? And then you can bring some of your friends together, and it's a great experience, because then that sparks the conversation. And then, so you've got the legit ones that are kind of am I skeptical or not? And then you got the ones that are totally they're not doing it for real science kind of deal. And then the third type over here is the ones that are more scientific, where you watch a few episodes and you go, they're debunking left and right. Obviously, with every TV show is a grain of salt, but this is a cool one, right? This is a cool one. I know they're debunking. Maybe I've looked up this individual's social media and they seem like a stellar person, and I really trust them and I believe them. So that's the three categories that I would have them in. And really what I would do is, next I would decide, do I want to do this by myself? Or do I want to try and get a group of my hometown buddies, or maybe some family members together, and say, hey, every Wednesday night, I'm going to watch these shows. And obviously it doesn't have to be shows. It could be podcasts. Everyone, watches a podcast every week, and then you can spark some chatter about it. But whether we're talking about TV shows, whether we're talking about scary movies that might give some kind of, themes, or, different paranormal topics to spark some conversation. Or maybe even podcasts, These are experiences that you're experiencing it, but you're not in person experiencing it. And that's one way, after you have your goal, that you can kind of proceed with this. And that's how, I like to share that with people. And so that was more of an in-depth of the TV shows, which would include movies and podcasts. And so now that brings us to